It's 2 a.m. Me and my wife are woken by a strange sound coming from my 11-month-old son's bedroom. We quickly run to see what's going on. As I turn on the light and see him, his eyes were rolled back in his head, his fists were clenched, and he was jerking violently. I grab him up and go speeding towards the hospital, and all I can think about is the longer I drive, the worse this is going to get. I had no idea that life for us was about to change significantly, and that the son I saw 24 hours before, playing and laughing, would never be the same. As we arrive at the emergency room, the medics rushed him back immediately. They drew numerous vials of blood, put him in a coma to stop the seizures, and did a lumbar puncture to draw spinal fluid. His spinal fluid came out milky white, and the doctor informed us that he surely had gotten meningitis. It wasn't until a few hours later that we found out that he'd gotten bacterial meningitis, the worst kind, which kills 1 in 7 people that get infected. My son spent the next 3 months in the hospital going through numerous surgeries. My son is now 11 and has lost all of his hearing, has a seizure disorder, and severe brain damage due to the infection that attacked his brain. He doesn't speak, but he can walk, although he does spend most of his time confined to a wheelchair. He is also legally blind. Although he does have some vision, we don't know how much. And no one can actually tell us how much he has. His life has been ruined by this disease. But I believe there could be a chance to repair some of that damage. Ask yourselves, what would you do if you had a loved one fall victim to a disease that destroyed their quality of life? Maybe some of you already have had a loved one stricken with an incurable disease. Would you like to be able to reverse or cure the effects of that disease? Well, it may be possible, and I'm going to tell you how. Stem cell research. Stem cell research can make it possible. Stem cell research is a technology used to take human cells and develop them into 220 varieties of cells in the human body to include blood and brain cells. With increased funding, we could uncover treatments and possibly even cure some of the worst diseases like heart disease, diabetes, neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Human stem cells come from 2 places: embryos or adult tissue. The easier and more useful of the two are embryonic stem cells. These cells can be produced solely for research or recovered from leftover in vitro fertilization. Fertility treatments create multiple embryos, and only the most viable ones are chosen, and the rest are done to research or simply discarded. Most of them, unfortunately, end up being discarded. The overall debate of the stem cell research comes from ethics of whether human life becomes an issue, or human cloning, which legislation has made illegal, so to me it's a moot point. The argument comes in trying to figure out when human life begins. And if the embryos are being discarded, what does it matter? Now, I'm totally against human cloning or killing another human being to benefit another. But that's not the reason I'm here. Instead of discarding unused embryos, why don't we use them for research? President Bush's 2001 policy on stem cell research has limited funding on stem cell research and severely hindered forward progress for better understanding and treatment of many diseases and conditions. For the last 10 years, people's lives have been put on hold because of somebody's moral values instead of scientific evidence. We have 10 years to make up for. We are not too late for change. That brings me to Proposition 121. I urge all of you to vote on Proposition 121, which would lift a ban on stem cell research and funnel much needed government and taxpayer funding toward institutions and programs to continue with stem cell research. The proposition also ensures that these institutions abide by federal laws on cloning and not to acquire stem cells by illegal methods, such as abortions, etc. Any of these violations can be construed as a misuse of government funds, and the institutions will lose funding permanently. So today, I have discussed the basics of stem cell research and why it is important, and important to me. And I've also discussed what the policy is on stem cell research currently and how we can change it. And finally, Proposition 121 and how it is important and its purpose. Let's bring back hope to all Americans that we can find a cure or treatments of some of the world's worst diseases. Millions will thank you. I will thank you. And my son will thank you. Thank you very much.